It's a Travolting development. His movies are kinda shit. 15 years without a hit. Hey! It's John Travolta!
Would have loved to have happened is like when he's stabbed and makes the operatic scream, it just keeps going to like a glass in the background shatters.
Now that would have been silly, Pat. You know, this movie was not silly.
You know,
It was super serial.
So serious. The serious film to ever serious.
you know, I didn't laugh a single time.
Oh, man. Not a whole bit during that whole film.
Nope.
You know, but before I move on, because we're definitely recording, before I tell you that this is definitely Travolting development, where we discuss sometimes the films of John Travolta, you know, his acting, the way he smokes cigarettes, you know, things of that nature. And but before we move on, I have to ask, which one of you fucking heathens opened a $100,000 upstairs and just left it there? Who did it? Who fucking did it?
I ate all my
That
candy.
is definitely how you get ants. You fucking heathens.
Cannon, look at me. Do I look like the sort of motherfucker that would leave an open candy bar? I saw that too, and I was very confused.
I was just like, what is happening right now?
Because I was too. I'm like,
Now I get it. As soon as you pop one in your mouth, you're chewing for a fucking millennia. But still, they are quite tasty.
Could have been Liz.
Maybe. I know it wasn't Darwin. Definitely wasn't Piper.
Yeah,
However,
I don't know. I think it might be Piper.
Well, I mean, considering they lack opposable thumbs.
I bet you it was fucking pee-pee.
Yeah. Maybe it was Abaddon.
Actually,
Abaddon stays down here though. She doesn't
well, I
really
mean,
get moved around.
Abaddon only comes on at night.
and Abaddon is innocent. PP is accused of tax fraud,
I mean, people will steal the copper out your walls.
especially out your air conditioning units.
Man.
Make sure you keep that shit covered for your viewers at home.
That being said, welcome to, I guess, the first episode of the 75% worth of the canon takeover of the Cajun Greatness podcast. I will be your host, Cannon, as always, for these fucking shenanigans. I don't know which direction we're going to go here, so I'm actually going to start with you.
I'm Jimmy, and I've got candy in my mouth.
Professional.
My name is Jonathan.
Oh, hello, it's Punisher Pat.
And as always, except for the first episode of this shit, we have...
I am regular Frank now, not just guest, because I've been on every one of them.
Yeah, you're not a guest anymore.
Oh. Is that better? Yes. But that's a great Frank impression, Cannon. I'm really
I know.
Can you believe we get Frank 2 weeks in a row?
You'll be surprised how many impressions I can do when I'm not cramming candy in my face.
I think it's a great way to show your ventriloquism.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm still throwing my Frank voice over there. That's still me. That's still me as I'm talking right now.
2 weeks in a row, maybe
Yep,
2
that's
months.
me right there. It's happening. And today...
I'm not sure if it's too much Frank. It's probably too much us for you.
Honestly, I think
that may be true as well.
I think we should go back to the Fanatic episode and just take sound bites of Frank and just put them in there.
See, that's the cage cut of the Fanatic.
like the year anniversary of that episode, we bring you on.
Yeah, just
Y'all, that's a Patreon tier.
just take bits of what I've spoken on the other stuff and just
put them in.
Actually, you can just take a lot of the last episode where I shit all over Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance and just put that on.
Now, see, Frank, that would require editing, which doesn't happen on this show.
Hey now. I edit the shit out of our commercials and karaoke bits, okay?
Yeah, well,
That takes a lot of work.
one of the fun stuff that Shimmy wants to do, but one like it's cromulent to the quality of the episode.
It's like, do you remember that time in The Punisher when he pissed fire? I hated that.
No, that extended the cut really added a lot to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Why is Nicolas Cage in this one?
I don't even think we've officially announced it, but we are talking about the 2004. It is 2004, correct?
Yes.
The Punisher, starring Thomas Jane and, of course, John Travolta. And we might have made a mistake in watching the extended cut of the movie.
I don't know. I think that is a very wise choice.
I mean, I don't think it was. I mean, we'll get to it. So, as per usual, we're going to go around the room. We're going to canvass the area. CTU style, counterterrorism unit style.
We're gonna there's a recon and get some info.
I'd much rather do it NCIS style, where you see the last 20 seconds of what I have to say, and then we shift to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, let's do that. But let's see. I'm going to get a little weird. I'm going to change it up a bit. Pat, you're first.
Okay.
Punisher
Hello. It's Pat's first up on bat. This is my first time seeing the original Punisher, which is funny considering I saw the short film sequel, which we also watched tonight first.
And technically, the original Punisher was the Dolph Lundgren.
Simmer down there. But the first time seeing the Thomas Jane Punisher, I enjoyed it. Like, it's definitely very 2004. There's a lot of tonal changes throughout the film. Changes like the tide, I would say. And where it has a very grim, serious moment, but also some really silly moments. But overall, I enjoyed myself. A solid 3 out of 5.
All right. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
All right. Shimmy.
Well, I love this movie. Unabashedly. I'm a huge fan of 80s, 90s, and early 2000s action movies, especially the early 2000s, because most of them were pretty much just 90s action movies. There's a lot from this movie that took from the Garth Ennis books. There's a lot that took from the early 90s Punisher. A lot of stuff that, seeing it, I'm like, oh, shit, I remember that page. It was cool. And then a lot of silly things. Yeah, the tonal shift. It's almost like the Hollywood version of multiple personalities, right? It's just it goes from slapstick to deadly serious to silly action in the same scene sometimes, just on a camera shift. But overall, I really like it. I always have. Like, we watched my DVD copy of the director's cut.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. So yeah, for me, 4 stars out of or 4. Out of 5. So I've always enjoyed this.
I can't wait till we actually talk about why we're doing it.
4 operatic O faces out of 5.
Well, I'm hoping anyone who's already seen the movie, that bit was burned into their fucking brain, because it is the most ridiculous moment in the movie, bar none.
And that's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot.
That being said, Jonathan, what did you think of the John Travolta classic, The Punisher?
I am going to say the sentence in the most loving way possible. But this movie is the cinematic equivalent of a butt rock song.
I mean,
and I had a fucking good time with it. Unlike butt rock. It's just... I don't know. It's something about the movie. It's not technically good, but it's played with such earnestness and the tonal shifts, and it's endearing. I give it a gold star for effort, and I give it 3 out of 5.
Now, Postman Frank, we are at another interesting scenario where last time we talked about Ghost Rider, which you are a huge Ghost Rider fan. Yeah. You and I both are huge Punisher fans.
That is correct.
So, that being said, what did you think?
Okay, again, with my built-in bias, this is a problem with these kind of movies. I love when they adapt comic books, but when you actually see comic book dialogue perform in a theatrical release, you realize how stupid it is. But there's some of that. There's not near as much of that as there was in the Ghost Rider that I still fucking love. There, as Shimmy said, there's so many references to some great Punisher issues and runs. I just wish they had chosen one and done that instead of this revenge movie, because that's what it is. It's not really a Punisher movie. It's a revenge movie with the Punisher in it.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
I'm hearing that argument made on these shows a lot lately. I feel like there's always somebody in something that's not the thing that they're in.
Yeah.
I can't wait for we actually covered the Count of Monte Cristo.
John Travolta wasn't the fanatic in The Fanatic. He was actually the pest.
God.
But like everybody here, I thoroughly enjoy this movie. As the Punisher fan that I am, I super enjoyed this movie a little, probably more than the people who haven't. And I honestly haven't seen the director's cut until tonight. And there were parts of it where, it's like, well, that's a little extra. But there's parts of it that's like, oh, yeah, that makes other parts of this movie much more clear and much less, why the fuck did they do that? It explains holes in the plot, such as it is. And I do enjoy the little twisty revenge thing that the Frank Castle character in this one gets on his targets. And overall, I'm a 4 too. All right, I got 4. Oh!
Well, let me get that one out of the way first. That wasn't even my best take. Okay. I honestly feel like this movie was my first big introduction to the character of the Punisher. I never really read the comics until I got back into reading comics a few years ago. Started back when he had the War Machine armor, which is rad as fuck. He never should have gave it up.
He didn't voluntarily.
No, that's true. But that being said, I've always enjoyed this movie. I did own the director's cut at one point, and I, like Frank, thought that I felt like there were interesting touches for adding more to the particular, I guess, quote-unquote, friend, not-so-friend dynamic that happened between the Punisher and his buddy, or not buddy.
You mean the dirty rat?
The dirty rat!
Like a rat?
The dirty rat!
All we needed is a Martin Scorsese rat to walk across in the background just to really hammer the point
While
home.
Dropkick Murphys play. Well, I don't know why.
There's a big red X behind him right before he shoots himself.
Oh, yeah.
10 things you missed in Departed. It's the fucking rat with the circle on
Thank you for listening to this Watch Mojo list. Here's 10 things you missed in The Departed by Martin Scorsese.
I feel like now, after watching the extended cut, we probably should have watched the regular theatrical release, because I actually feel like scores might have been a little higher, just a little bit. I'm not saying this movie is the end-all, be-all. Like, when it came out, I don't think it made any money in the box office, but it made gangbusters in DVD sales when it came out.
It ended up turning a pretty decent profit in both. They just never... The reason they didn't continue with it was because there were issues with both the scripts and the directors, and by the time they got around to it, Thomas Jane felt like the studio and Thomas Jane both felt like he was too old to continue playing the part.
Yeah.
That's why the Dirty Laundry short didn't come out until 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when the Dirty Laundry short came out.
This movie is way more all over the place than I remember. I will admit that. Like it's already been said several times already, the tone is everywhere. That being said, I really can't say it deterred me from having a good time. I still really love this movie. Had a blast with it. The weird fucking bits we'll definitely get into, but I'm gonna give it a 4. If we would have watched the theatrical cut, I may even give it a 4.5. Ooh.
There you go.
But let's talk about why we feel the way we feel.
This movie is the perfect, like, blockbuster movie stop movie. Like this was something like I would have bought at Movie Stop when I was in college.
Yeah, I remember this movie definitely came out when I was real big into owning physical copies of movies originally.
But it's just like a really good, like, solid C-tier movie.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to explain the stupid. Oh,
We'll get to it.
No.
I mean, it's
If they
Are you just gonna leave it hanging there?
Yes.
If they want to know what it's about, they're going to have to listen to the whole episode.
Or you could just watch The Punisher, come back, and then you'll know.
Yeah, when you get to it, you'll know what we're talking about.
Pause the
There's
episode.
no doubt.
Pause this episode now. Go watch The Punisher. We'll wait.
God damn it. In tradition of jumping around like we always do, there's a moment in the film where the Punisher really fucks this guy up. He shoots him in the foot with a gun, toeless,
Shotgun,
and then stabs him in the side, pierces his hand to himself, and then makes this noise, and then
Stabs him right in the mouth.
and you see the blade.
Jams a knife through the bottom of his jaw. It pokes him through his mouth.
I think we may have to rank the kills in this movie, because that is definitely up there. That was pretty fucking cool.
I think honestly, for the meme, that is my favorite. Although John Travolta comes in a close second,
It's like
because that was just petty and extra as fuck.
welcome to the kill count, where we talk about The Punisher 2004.
I want to
Honestly, I think out of the top 3 kills, Travolta has 2 of them.
Yeah.
Killing
the train.
Killing his buddy and then dumping his wife over the rails onto the train track.
Train.
Fuck, God,
Yeah.
why did I forget
You
about
killing me.
that?
Why you killing me, Howard? You killing me. Why you killing me? You keep stabbing me.
Why do y'all listen to this?
You're killing me, Smalls.
God damn it.
The best revenge, you just have the person kill their people for you. Like, you don't have to lift a finger.
Right.
I mean, and that's why I fucking love it. It's like drag queen levels of petty.
Bitch, if there was like a Punisher version of the drag queen, I would shit a whole brick.
I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Punish her.
Hey, now Shannon's forehead vein is throbbing.
fan fiction.
So the beginning of the film, we get this extra little insert that was planned for the actual movie, but obviously didn't have the money to make it happen. So it's like almost stop motion-y, like it's almost straight from the storyboards, but like almost like a stop motion.
It's like
comic.
a motion comic.
It's like-
motion comic, not
It's
stop
like
motion.
still
yeah.
photos, but they're being moved artificially by like the production of the film, and which is like I remember watching the thing like, was this in the movie?
Like if you tell somebody this isn't the extended cut, this would be really fucking jarring. Like, wait, what? What is this?
Yeah, because like it's like Frank and his Marine days and
Yeah.
in the Middle East. And
It does add some story to what comes later, I will admit. And it would have been cool if they had the opportunity to film these scenes, but
I mean,
shit
It's
happens.
3 hours at that.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
It was a nice ad just for story flavor, but they could have totally left it out, and I see why they did.
Yeah.
and the fact that they never even shot it, and they just used the little storyboard things like you were talking about.
it's like popsicle
Just-
stick with people on them.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if you really like cut out the his partner's story, then you don't really need that. Like I feel like that more informs that subplot
See, I think
than anything.
that's where I'm in disagreement with some of y'all, because I liked everything else. The very first part with them in the sandbox, as they called it, with their CTU unit, that was not really that necessary.
Yeah.
It just built why his buddy in the FBI was his buddy in the FBI, because they were also in the Marines together.
Yeah, that's why I say I think it informs that
I guess they
subplot.
were trying to add in as his portrayal was just an extra.
I mean, I never said it was needed.
betrayal.
Like
But-
that particular opening sequence.
Yeah,
is.
that opening sequence.
Obviously why it was never put in the film.
Yeah, it was completely unnecessary. But I liked all the other, because they did explain some things. Some of them were a little long. Some of them were more than what they should have been. But
Yeah.
it still explained certain things and made the story more of a story.
Yeah, I will
To me.
agree that the extended cut really made this movie way too long. Like, how long is the extended cut?
It ends up coming in at I think just a shade under 2 hours 40 minutes.
Jesus, really?
A little higher than that. when
2
you add
hours,
it.
40. Well,
Like
yeah.
nearly 3 hours?
Yeah, like
No
after you added that
fucking
beginning
way.
bit. Yeah, it's just about 2:45.
I mean, we are.
Wow.
It is almost 11 o'clock, which is usually when we're kind of like we're into the
Hey,
show.
we didn't start till like 8.
yeah,
Ish.
we started at 7:45, and the movie that we watched proper ended at 10:15, and then we did the
Punisher, Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, Dirty Laundry.
Either way, the extended cut, people listening to this show, watch the theatrical version. Most definitely. I would highly recommend it. I'm not saying don't watch this one, because as long as the friend bits make this film, I don't necessarily hate them. I think they add a little bit more. Well, besides a few of the corny lines that they do deliver. God, there is some corny fucking lines in this movie.
Travolta's puns at the end.
No, fuck that. I love that shit. I fucking love that shit.
One of my favorite like weird lines in the movie is like when one of the, I guess, drug brothers that's like financing John Travolta is like, it's not too hunky, it's not too Dory.
God, it was. You could tell like the writers were loving this shit, right? And it was just like, this is fucking badass, and it's so corny that it wraps around to being badass.
Yeah,
again.
I'm about 95% sure that was not in the theatrical version. I believe
That's where I get where you guys are saying it jumps all over the place, because it'll be super slapstick with like the Two Stooges and the good looking chick in the apartment complex. Did not seem like they belonged in the same movie.
You mean
as
Joe and the Mouse, Spacker Dave, and Mr. Bumpo?
Nobody's going to
Those
care.
are their real names.
Joni, played by Rebecca Romaine.
Nobody's going to care. They were joke characters.
Which I love that apparently like Frank ends up in this fucking roach motel with no oversight. It's literally just 4 people squatting in this abandoned place.
I forget who it was that made the comment that I don't think this is an actual apartment building. I think they're all just squatters.
That was me. It's just funny because he ends up in this fucking dump with like fucking Rebecca goddamn Romaine and fucking Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers.
I believe you mean acclaimed actor Ben Foster and legendary comedian John.
I was about to say that's definitely a disservice to both of those guys.
R.I.P. Brad.
Wait, John Panette died?
Yeah, he's dead.
It was very sad.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no, I love that guy. His comedy's
R.I.P.
hilarious.
He was a
really fucking
You know what was
funny.
funny? I kept thinking. You know, he reminds me of like that big comedian Phil. I thought he was really funny. Then
That's him.
little did I know.
That was him. Yes.
And I did think that it was funny that Ben Foster actually got to appear in the sporting movie.
Yeah.
Really? Holy
Yeah, those
shit! I
are
didn't
real.
know that.
Just like that, just like that scene where Rebecca Romaine is like stitching up Frank Castle. Like she was like actually doing that, but she went in too hard, and he just like whenever he's like really hurting and screaming, that was him. Just
Jesus
yelling.
Christ! There's
she
a lot
missed
of
the
people
face,
getting
yeah.
hurt in this movie, like for real.
Yeah.
Like, did anybody die making this goddamn thing? Jesus Christ!
Kevin Nash almost died.
The
Oh
original.
no, that was just a scratch to him. He didn't even flinch. God
his
damn.
No selling ass.
Yeah, he got stabbed, but his quads were fine, so that's what's important.
Quads are made of fucking fiberglass.
It's like, oh, my one weakness, my quads.
He didn't. Here's another thing. He didn't just get stabbed. He got stabbed with a prop knife, which means it's dull.
Yeah, it's a blunt knife.
So
yeah.
he got literally. You know,
How fucking hard
actually
was
stabbed-
Thomas Jane laying in?
Yeah.
Kevin Nash is just fucking
Well, apparently-
lay into me.
I mean,
Apparently,
Nash probably
Jay-
told him go stiff.
Yeah. Apparently, Jane thought it was the one that collapsed, and it was not. So it went in.
So you're telling me that there was an issue with a movie prop that led to an injury this week of all weeks? I don't believe it.
Yeah, man, topical.
Yeah.
Man, does that story just keep getting more and more fucked up?
Yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Have there been more developments?
Stay tuned for after the credits where we
We'll talk about this after
where
the
we
show.
break down the Alec Baldwin armored fiasco on the set of Rust.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's going to be documentaries made about this event.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yes.
Anyway, Punisher.
Which that was relevant because that armorer was also fucking around with the Nick Cage movie. He also got pissed off at.
Right.
Everyone forgot the deleted scene where Frank Castle leaves that storage locker / apartment complex, and then it was actually Mystique the whole time.
See that's how you work it around.
No, Mystique would have kicked the Russian's ass.
Yeah, she would have been.
That
Like,
She was undercover, Frank.
Yeah.
yeah, she's hiding. She's
That was the bit. No, I'm just-
but they had Friendsgiving with Frank.
yeah, I was about to say, talking about how long the extended cut is. According to IMDb, like without edits, the movie clocked in at like literally just under 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours and 56 minutes. It looks like something like that.
Well, I don't know if it was my fandom or just never seeing the director's cut before, but I did not seem that long to me.
It didn't seem that long, but it definitely seemed longer than it ought to have.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it really didn't seem like an eternity, but it was a trek
I mean, I didn't feel
Now, I did see some runtime saying like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, there was like this one opening bit with the Toro brothers, and like Shimmy said, everything with Frank's friend damn near was cut out of the theatrical version. Like you saw him in the opening bits when they parted ways. You saw him when Frank came to the curb, which that whole bit was cut to like maybe like 1 or 2 lines,
Yeah, like
essentially.
the second half of that scene was cut completely from the theatrical bit.
Like, damn it.
Like
I feel like I kind of fucked us in the end. I do apologize to everybody.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
though.
I was like, I do. Like I said, I do like this version. It's just, it offers so much, yet it just feels so bloated sometimes.
I do have a question because it's been a while since I've seen this movie.
Okay.
The whole how the bad guy finds out where Frank's family is, I don't think was ever explained in the theatrical cut. They just showed up and killed him.
It was just like, hey, we know people. And boom.
Quentin Glass walked up at the funeral, handed Howard Sanderson, said, his name's Frank Castle. These are all the things we know about him. What are we going to do? Kill his family. Yeah, all right, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I know that's why they added the stuff back in for the extended cuts, kind of to fill that. And I guess like it's like, well, we put this in, you got to put the rest in.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, like the first cut, it didn't really need to be spelled out as much. Because at that point, like, his name's Frank Castle. Oh, okay, they used their illicit contacts to find out. Why wouldn't they have those? They're the mob.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's you could like.
Yeah,
It wasn't a big like, oh my god, how'd they know? It's just something they just skipped
if they're
completely
doing
over.
a deluxe re-release and they already have all that shit filmed, why not put it in there?
Yeah, especially for like you said for the DVD.
For us nerds who want to see it.
Yeah, because like the cheers to Frank Castle part when he gets his desk job in London and parts ways. When Howard Saint identifies his son's dead body, and again the bit on the sidewalk. Yeah, that was it in the actual theatrical release.
And even the scene where he's like leaving for retirement, they cut 35 seconds off of that.
Yeah.
Like the part says, "Hey, don't go gambling," foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And then the part where he's talking about his son, is like, "Who did it? We're gonna handle it." There's a couple lines they cut out of that too. And the sidewalk scene, like we said, was cut in half.
I even thought like, and it's the same in both versions, damn near. But when he does the initial toast, like to Frank Castle, like I feel like something was removed from the beginning of that. It feels like something was said like immediately before that, because it's such a weird fucking like introduction,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here comes Thomas Jane in this terrible blonde wig and a ball cap, and then it's Frank Castle. It's like, fuck, god damn it, I just got shot with blanks and squibbies, and they still hurt, even though I'm still breathing.
Yeah, like the pacing in this movie, it's definitely, for as much shit as it is, for as many of the scenes that kind of drag, the pacing from scene to scene is pretty breakneck. So like you'll go from Friendsgiving to, oh god, is that Kevin Nash? In like just nothing.
Yeah. And I will say, like, at least in this rendition of The Punisher, it's like traditionally it's what, his wife and 2 kids?
Yeah, his wife, his son, and his daughter.
Oh, in this one, it's the entire extended family, pretty
His
much.
family.
It's a family reunion.
His whole family.
The Saint family, little baby Saint gets killed, and then Howard Saint's like, "Hey, well, we're gonna go get Frank." And then the wife, at their son's funeral, says, "Wait, his family, his whole family,
His whole family."
And oh my goodness,
Like when they were doing the family reunion bit, I was just like, they're not going to kill all these people.
everyone,
Yeah.
every one of them.
It was like, this is really extra.
Yep.
Also, why is this shit happening in fucking, where were they?
Puerto Rico, I think.
Yeah, they were
Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Rico at this point. Yeah.
Well, the premise there was his dad lives there, and that's where he was raised.
His dad is Roy fucking Scheider from Jaws.
Yeah.
He's hiding from
That's
Jaws.
who that was. Fuck.
Also, speaking of this scene and kind of weird transitions, like the scene where Daddy Castle is showing Frank his Colts, and then Frank goes, "Your 1911 Colts, you done something to them." And then there's this like small little montage of the bad guys like slowly creeping on to the family, right? And it lasts for at least like 10, 15 seconds or something like that. And then it goes straight to the dad going, "Yeah, you could say that." I was like, were you just standing there the whole time? It's like, does time just stop when bad guys are coming onto the island?
It was happening concurrently.
No.
That's not how that works.
Rorschach's just having like partial complex seizures. It's like, did you do something to these? Yeah, I changed out the grip.
I don't know. Like even when I saw this in theaters, I was just like, yeah, that's weird. But but yeah, murdering everybody. I also thought it was funny how they like straight up knew immediately, singled out the mom, just like, just. Oh! And her death was kind of funny. It was like, all the like white people dropping shit in commercials like, "Are you tired of not being able to hold your popcorn dish properly?"
Because none of the family had blood on them.
Not a drop. None of them.
What if the whole family was in the bit and they were just shot with squibs?
What if they're all in the FBI? They're all part of the CTU.
Yeah,
the counterterrorism unit.
Guys, just imagine the alternate universe where they're all like shot, they're like all knocked out, and then the bad guys are walking, and then they just pop up like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah, see the gag is they were drama actors.
No, they ratted out Frank and they just pinned it on his buddy.
Oh God!
They all like, "Hey, we need to find Frank Castle. Where is he? He's right here. He's right here."
I mean, that would explain why they kept shooting the salad bowls.
I will. Oh God, there's just greenery getting launched everywhere.
But that fucking, I thought it was a potted plant.
Just like, but it did give me one of my favorite scenes in the movie where there's like a fucking like Daddy Castle and Frank are in the house, like both like shotguns just defending the fort, and Frank shoots this propane tank and it explodes, right? The bad guy fucking launches into the air. Now I noticed when he landed just completely on fire. I know they have to like wear like mask and like that gel and shit when they get lit, but that mask looked just like Michael Myers' mask.
It was a very Michael Myers mask.
Looked, I could have sworn it was him, for fuck's sake.
Every time I've watched this movie, the part where he blows up the propane tank, I can't help but think and hear Hank Hill screaming in my head.
Well, I mean, you basically got the guy who gets stabbed that we keep mocking. I mean, he's basically Hank Hill. Ooh. I like this new age man.
Are we mocking or are we celebrating, Jonathan?
A little from column A, a little from column
I mean, yes.
And this led to one of my favorite bits of us watching the movie when it pretty much came down to just Frank, his wife, and his son. And then the wife and the son, they are in high speed, they're gone.
It's like Dukes of Hazzard.
With a boat. They are dragging a boat behind them.
You just feel like blue and
the band
Doesn't good, old boy.
They get to this fucking pier, and then they're just hoofing it down this pier. And then the truck just comes chugging along and just runs them both over. Frank shows up on a motorcycle, gets through the pier and is just shouting right after. And then everybody in the room's like, "Where the fuck is the truck? Like, where did it go?"
Because it's just a narrow pier and the truck like goes forward, and it's like, did it go turn around and come back before he got there?
But,
like,
lo and behold, there was more pier. We just didn't see it.
Yeah. Because what we didn't see at the very end of the pier, it makes a left.
Yeah. Now, I will say the initial, I say kill scene, even though he doesn't die, but it's pretty gnarly. Like, he gets shot to shit, gets his fucking ass handed to him, and then initially just like gets left for dead to fucking explode in a ball of flame.
Yeah, that was also extended. I don't remember.
No, that was all from the movie. That was all from the movie. Yes.
Is that all of it?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Every bit of it was in the theatrical version.
Everything that was added involved his friend. Everything else.
Really?
Yeah. No,
I don't remember the whole knocking him over the railing.
Yeah,
shit. I remember
they
shot. And
all
punched.
that shit happened. Yeah, 100%.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
since
like
I've seen it.
that whole fucking like fuck you Frank scene. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, the
there.
only added scenes were the friend,
And-
and everything else was in the original theater.
I will say one divergence point I thought would be a great bit is since it just looked like the parent, not the parents, the wife and the kid got run down by the truck. Like, what if they didn't? They just kind of hit the deck at the last second and just pretended to be dead. So the whole movie, the wife and the son are doing their own revenge mission, becoming their own version of the Punisher at the same time. Like, oh no, Daddy's dead. We gotta go find
It's
him.
just taking them longer.
No, you see, because like she is like literally the wife of Frank Castle. He's the son of Frank Castle. They would know, what if the truck is almost there, like let's say, about like, and they pull like some underworld shit and like shoots a circle with Uzis on the pier and just get out there. Who the fuck?
I would pay good money to see someone at Marvel write the version of Punisher where it's the wife and the kids being the Punisher and Daddy's dead.
And I don't know why. I know it was corny as fuck, but that scene where Frank is just blasting away and like he's just doing what he can. He's getting shot, and then he just cocks that shotgun one more time, and just nothing. It's like, oh, it's like, oh damn.
And then he's like, he washes up in the ocean and just like gooshin' blood, like literally, like
So much
if
blood.
fucking Roy Scheider's Jaws showed up, he would have been fucked.
And
So that's why they didn't, because Jaws was already dead. Thanks.
And
Totally
if-
shot.
And if I remember correctly, I believe it was in the.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the same guy from Jaws.
If you remember correctly, with the what now, Ken?
No, continue.
No, that was it.
No, I'm. Never mind. I'm thirsty.
He's just spitefully drinking his beer now.
Yeah, a little bit. Assholes. I believe in the novelization of this movie, there was a pretty decent explanation as to how he survived that, which they did not include in either versions of this film.
No.
Earlier in the film, he was out diving with his son, and there is a bit just straight out of context. It is not talked about or mentioned anymore. No, we'll leave it, and they swim ashore. He was referring to his son's air tank. So at least in the book version that was released, he like when he got blown the fuck out into the water, when he fucking I guess sank to the bottom, he grabbed his son's tank, and that's how he made it to where he did.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me at least, I never had a question of how he could survive underwater.
Yeah.
My question was always, he's been shot at least twice that I can remember, and then blown the fuck up after getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
That should have... He got shot in the center of his chest. Like, the edge of his sternum is confetti, if not all of his sternum.
2 words.
See, what you're not taking into account, Shimmy, is that he's a Giga Chad on his grind set.
Sigma male, gotta get that hustle mindset, y'all.
Hustle and grind, everybody.
And, like, that was a high-powered bullet. That should have shattered his spine on the way out.
Yeah, but also fucking plot armor. Like, yeah, Frank Castle lives. That's like that. If he died, no fucking story.
I mean, I'm not convinced that he just didn't do the fucking bullshit that Darth Maul did in the Clone Wars.
like he just kept himself alive with pure hate. Although I would
Yep.
love to see a version where Frank Castle had just fucking spider legs for no goddamn reason.
This whole episode is now just Pat doing alternate versions of this movie.
hey, they work for Loki. All I'm saying.
Yeah, Pat, I've never seen this Punisher movie before. Let me pitch like 8 different versions of it.
Hey, throw enough shit at the wall, it sticks.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I forgot. Earlier in the film, before his son got murdered, got like ran down, and which, by the way, we all noticed it. Like those 2 bodies look like 2 bodies that definitely hadn't seen the tires of a vehicle.
No, they laid down. There was no
They're
damage
just like,
whatsoever.
just take
Take
a
a nap.
fucking nap. We'll get the shot, okay? And speaking of like people making weird noises in this movie, Thomas Jane when he screams Marie. Hold on, let me back away from the mic.
That was still louder.
I want
to find that.
I wanted to get like the full effect because that's pretty much how it sounded.
He practically barks.
But yeah, like earlier in the movie, his son. Which, you know what? In this movie, I kind of like how he gets his shirt, how he gets his logo, and in fact, I think it's the best looking Punisher skull that we got from this movie.
I mean, literally the John Bernthal Punisher, and other than just sort of taking cues from the direction and character of this movie, like even just the imagery of the skull is sort of, you can trace it back to this one.
Yeah, they definitely like. I mean, it's not the same, but like long ass teeth, and definitely inspired by. But like, and I did notice that exact logo in a lot of the Rosenberg after the War Machine arc.
Yeah, like that logo has more or less become the official version now.
It's a good one. Not the one that has the fucking blue stripe in it, you fucking dipshits. And you fuckers that are putting Trump's hair on it, I almost busted a windshield out in town.
If you're a fucking cop and you like non-ironically do this Punisher shit, fuck off.
Now, there is a version of the skull that I really like by an artist who actually, he did the Punisher Max series, the first 6 issues with Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
He lived here at the time.
Oh.
And I met him in my first collection that my bastard father lost for me. I actually had the first 6 issues all signed by him. His name is Louis LaRosa. I don't remember if I mentioned that. I got caught up on my bastard father. But Louis LaRosa, and he did the first 6 issues, and I really loved his skull design. And I just sent it to the group chat, and we'll put it on the social media too. It's on a sketch cover he did recently, but it's really messy. And
I like that.
I've always been a huge fan of
that's still
that.
pretty cool, actually.
And like he did the 6-issue miniseries, and at one point he had to draw, Frank Castle holding his daughter's tongue that had been ripped out of her head by a bullet. Jesus. And they had to fix the coloring because it was too graphic for Max, which is the Marvel adult line. But I think I have that one at the shop if anyone wants to buy and or read that. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see Punisher hold his dead daughter's disembodied tongue.
That's the one where Micro comes back.
I'm dead.
I died.
Keep up that coughing and sneezing. You'll be holding your own.
I literally just coughed and sneezed at the same time. I think I'm having a fucking heart attack.
You are so red.
I'm fine. I swear to God, I'm okay.
No, I love his skull design. I think it's my favorite. This one from this movie is definitely a close second. It's a very good design. It doesn't look too clean. The classic design where the teeth of the skull are giant ass bullet casing type things.
Yeah.
That's always fun too.
Yeah.
But the whole leotard with the white boots and white gloves, while iconic, is very, very impractical.
True.
For what Punisher's doing.
But what if instead of the skull, he's actually just a ghost? He scares them with the ghost because they think he's spooky.
Pat,
you have to realize, Pat, when the Punisher came out, all the superheroes were like multicolored, bright primary color.
I remember the Spider-Man. They had like
even Batman was blue and gray.
Yeah, and when the Punisher came out in just
fucking awesome look,
straight black and white, they were like, "Oh, this is super edgy." It was 1974, I believe.
Well, it's a symbol of his morality, which is tends to be pretty binary.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I thought was funny was Stan Lee had this idea of a villain that becomes a superhero, like anti-hero, and the guy who originally designed and pitched the idea wanted to call him the Assassin, which doesn't exactly work especially back in the 70s, as a superhero. Yeah. Oh, he's good. He's called the Assassin.
Just wait 20 years.
Yeah.
I was about to say, just slap Ninja in front of it and you got yourself a damn fun movie.
90s.
That was
once it gets to the 90s, movie. Assassin on everything, perfectly fine.
Assassin, pouches, foil covers.
Tiny feet or no feet.
But at the time,
or large feet.
Yeah, at the time, I mean, the black and white costume, even you look at it, and it's still kind of ridiculous because he's got bright white gloves and boots.
Yeah,
the black and white was very stark and
makes
it easy for the colorists.
Yeah, oh, and the way they've updated the whole White Skull thing is that's where the majority of his body armor is focused, so that when thugs come up and start shooting at him, they naturally aim for the skull. Same reason that they gave for in-universe explanation of the yellow oval around Batman's chest.
No, yeah, I remember hearing that.
The same reason why Robin wears bright colors.
Yeah.
So, because Batman doesn't want to get shot.
They hand wave, give like an explanation for an iconic design. Like, well, or why is this impractical? Well, here we can backdoor like a cool explanation for it.
Yep. So yeah, Punisher.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get to my point that I tried to make fucking half an hour ago.
Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter at this point. Y'all continue.
Oh no, clearly that was it.
No, I was just saying. I just thought it was at least in this film made the logo, at least to him, mean a little bit of something, considering the shirt was a gift from his son.
Yeah.
He bought it, and apparently the person he bought it from said it was supposed to ward off evil spirits and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then luckily enough, after some time chilling, hanging out, growing a sweet Jesus beard.
That was the sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it was a pretty sweet Jesus beard. He ready to bonk out, and the last thing he ends up finding his shirt, which is kind of almost like moldy and weathered a little bit. It's been outside for a minute, which I actually had that shirt that. I mean, obviously without the sand on it, but it was made to look, green in spots like the one he found in the sewer. I actually had a couple of versions of that logo. It was that one, the red one that was made to look like blood. And I have another one that I haven't worn because that fucking logo has a big negative fucking connotation now. Ass hats. We need to take it back. I technically take it back at least a little bit thanks to Frank over here. My little air what are those little sticks where you pump air in your tires? What do they call that? Little air nipples?
Oh, that's right.
Little air dicks.
The stem cap.
I legit didn't know what they were, and then I looked at them. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah,
I went outside to my truck and I took off my stem caps and I fucking put those. Fucking Punisher stem cap.
What happened was I lost a couple of mine off my car, and I was like, well, I'll order some new ones. So I just went on Amazon to click the first one, and I went, oh, fuck, there's Punisher stem caps. And so I was like, fuck, I'm just going to order them. And for some reason, I was thinking I needed 2 pair. Because I can't count to 4, apparently. And so when they were like, I don't know, $5 for a set, so it's not like it was a lot of money, but I had 2 pairs. I was like, oh, I know who would like this. And I went to the store, and Pat was there, right? I gave them to you, right? Me and my stupidity, I was like, here, I got these for Cannon. If you since you guys live together, can you just hand them when you get home? Sure. Forgot to mention what they were at all. I just gave this random object to Pat. Here, give this to Cannon with no context whatsoever.
Well, it's and then I think Pat gave them to Liz, right? And Liz gave them to me, and none of us knew right off the bat what
I
they
don't know
were.
if anybody really looked at it. Just oh, here's a thing.
But after I put them on, I shit you not, I looked at the little baggie that they came in, and it kind of said what it was. It was a bit faded, but if you look hard enough, you'd be like, oh wait, never mind.
I remember when Cannon flipped out. I was like, oh, I got to put these on the truck right now.
I mean, I did. They're on there right this second.
See, what I would have loved, Frank, instead of giving the stem caps to Frank, just the only logical explanation to do these extra stem caps, buy a new car and put those on.
I did even worse. The next week, I'm looking online, and instead of having the white cap with the black logo on it, they're also solid black ones with just white skull on them, and I ordered those on my car now.
Oh hell yeah, that's cool. It's always nice to accessorize, It's even cooler because people have to search that shit out. They're not gonna know.
Well, I have the blackout package on my car, which means all the chrome and stuff is blacked out, and just the white skulls look better on it.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the stem caps. Never mind.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. My car has the blackout package. All the chrome and stuff is...
The blackout package?
Yeah. All the chrome and stuff is
fucking
blacked
Batmobile?
out.
The Frankmobile.
I don't think any podcast has ever talked this long about sin caps.
All right. Anyway, I do want to get to this bit because I think not only is it crucial, but I feel like this is the best goddamn scene in the whole fucking movie. Okay.
Are we talking about the fight?
No, we're not talking about well, that's a good one. But the scene where Frank enlists the help of the Saints, like fucking laundry boy, I guess.
Bitch boy.
Mickey, yes.
Who's just like the stereotypical like New York cab driver, like I'm walking here.
God.
Or Joe Pesci.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is-
Oh
we
God.
have Joe Pesci
I
involved.
wouldn't even say dollar. I wouldn't even say dollar store. I would say Dollar Tree. Joe
A
Pesci.
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree.
Not even good enough for
We
Dollar
have
General.
Joe Pesci at home. That's what he
That is perfect.
Oh God.
Your mom telling you we have McDonald's at home.
Man.
That's totally Joe Pesci.
And I will say there, and again, here in Travolting Development, we do occasionally talk about John Travolta in these movies, which he is in this movie. He is the main villain, I guess.
He's
Yeah,
in it so little.
he is. I forgot how little he's actually
they
in
don't
this
even
movie.
have a proper confrontation between him and Frank until the last 5 minutes of the film.
It's very
and it's
true.
not really a confrontation.
No,
I mean, he's
not
pretty
that
much like defeated at that point.
Shot, spinning around, making a silly face.
Yeah.
But
And then it gets tied to the back of a car and then driven off, and then it sets off this chain of explosion in the shape of a skull.
But your favorite scene, taken straight from Punisher Warzone #1 from like '93.
Yes, but I was gonna, but before that, I was going to go into the scene where Mickey. We all thought Mickey was goner because in the scene it's implied that the man responsible for my son's death must die because Mickey was with him on that drug deal when he died, right? Mm-hmm. But I thought it was kind of cool because, like, earlier we see his son playing cards with one of the lackeys at the bar, which is the guy that Howard Saint actually killed in that scene because you were supposed to be watching my son and you weren't.
Yeah.
And then he just shot his ass dead. For what it was worth, I thought that was kind of a rad scene.
Yeah, it's a fun scene.
But the one that was taken straight out of the pages of Warzone in '92 is when Mickey got popsicled thinking he was getting blowtorched. The way Frank pulled it off, he even explained it to him. He goes, "It's like it's gonna burn. The nerve endings are gonna just seal shut, killing them. You're not gonna feel anything, and you're gonna smell burning meat, and that's when it's gonna hurt." This motherfucker then takes the torch to a fucking steak, and then just puts a popsicle to his back, and he starts flipping out, and still to this day holds up in my head as one of the best scenes ever.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, I know.
That was legit, like smart, and it was funny. It was a good package all around.
The issue that was based off of was my second ever Punisher comic.
I was about to say,
Oh, nice.
until today, I didn't know that was actually in a book.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty
I'm
fucking
pretty sure
sweet.
you own that book.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sold it to you.
Man, that's cool.
I will send you a
dig.
picture of it so you can look for it.
So you can confirm or
My
I have a lot of them.
My first Punisher book was one of the summer specials where he beats up a gym owner named Razor and also kills the Marvel version of the band Gwar. Because they're killing junkies on stage for real. So he goes on stage during their concert wearing a Punisher helmet and like fucking kills them with axes and shit and a guillotine that was already on stage. Now I know you have that one, Cannon.
that is metal as fuck.
It's pretty metal.
Wow.
But that is where the Punisher's a plan to get revenge on the Saint family gets a little fucking crafty, you know. Like even for a Punisher story, like Shimmy put it, it's very Count of Monte Franco of him for a castle of him. Not Franco, not that.
Frank Castle definitely makes it a Shakespearean, even a Greek tragedy.
Like this is definitely the most theatrical Punisher I believe we've had. I mean, granted, I haven't finished the Punisher on Netflix yet.
I mean, I don't remember John Bernthal like tricking his Corey into killing the people anyway.
Bernthal just murders people.
Yeah.
And while doing the manliest screams you ever heard.
I mean, goddamn right. Man, I mean, that's some scary shit, man.
Like, he hollers
kills like
from-
8 dudes and starts like gorilla grunting. Like fuck.
Joe Rogan wishes.
I'm pretty sure John Bernthal voiced King Kong in fucking the new ones.
Like, he does a fucking like war scream when he's playing fucking football with his 5-year-old son. He's like, whoa! He just screams from like he just sucks in the air from his ass and goes straight to his lungs.
And like, what was funny about watching this movie back, this is the first time I've seen this one in probably 5-6 years at least. And I've seen the Netflix stuff since then, which also took a lot from the Garth Ennis 12-issue miniseries, Welcome Back, Frank. That whole scene with Daredevil chained up on a roof, ripped straight from those pages.
Oh, yeah. Great shit.
But like watching this and watching the Dolph Lundgren one not so long ago for our Lundgren special, if you want to take a quick peek back in the history of Cajun greatness, we do cover that. We will not be covering Punisher Warzone. Ray Stevenson was done dirty. Anyway,
Sorry, y'all. That ain't
watching
happening.
this again, as much as I love Thomas Jane, in my head, he had always been right there with Bernthal in terms of performance. But rewatching this now with Bernthal so fresh in my mind, Bernthal is so much better. Not to say Jane is bad, but Bernthal is just so fucking good.
No. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I will say Thomas Jane is still my favorite theatrical Punisher.
Yeah, of course.
But Bernthal knocked it out of the park. He is my favorite, like on-screen Punisher, like without a doubt.
Yeah, because I don't really buy Thomas Jane as the Punisher. He's just kind of like a dad killing people versus like John Bernthal, who to me feels like what little I know of the Punisher.
To be fair, this was an origin story, and they wanted to make the movie. The next one was going to be him versus Jigsaw, and then it just got stuck in development hell, and the script went bad. And Thomas Jane was like, "I'm not doing something that I don't love. This seems terrible. I want to give the fans what they deserve." And he backed out, and then Stevenson showed up, and that's what became Punisher Warzone, and Thomas Jane was proven right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Jigsaw was in this on this DVD in a certain manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The fucking Saw 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah.
But oh shit.
Bernthal was better.
Yeah.
And Thomas Jane, like if Thomas Jane was asked to perform the same scripts that Bernthal did, I think it would be really good. I think it would be really close. But just Thomas Jane with what he was given in this movie versus Bernthal with what Bernthal was given to do with his scripts.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say I honestly feel that I still feel like damn it, we definitely should have watched the theatrical version now, because there are some scenes that were added into the extended cut. I mean, granted, this movie does have a lot of fucking corny dialogue, right? But there are some lines that I think, in my mind, still stick. I didn't even cover it earlier when he's leaving the island with his fucking Jesus beard, and he just the guy goes with God, and he goes, "God's gonna sit this one out." I literally quoted that last week at work because we were like, "Oh, y'all, we got like the full house. We got everybody in the ready to eat," and it was like, all right, y'all, it's just you, me, and God. I'm just like, well, fucking God's gonna sit this one out. But I was shit.
Corny dialogue, but there's some good stuff. Well, the same thing about the line where the police captain says, "Frank, I know you're upset." He was upset.
Yeah, that was good. I thought that was really good.
That line stuck with me for years. That's a hell of a line.
Yeah. But there are other moments, other lines of dialogue that I feel that are delivered by Jane in the add-on scenes that are, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it was like a take thing, or I feel like if we did watch a theatrical cut, you might have had a better feel for Thomas Jane as the Punisher, I think.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they give him more to say in this one, and I'm not gonna say that's a hindrance, but it might be.
Yeah,
I don't know, really.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's part of the bouncing around.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the tone shifting, because he'll be in that I'm death walking mode,
Yeah.
and then that slapstick, ridiculous.
Well, and
Not even that, but
And-
like he's in that death walking mode, and then all of a sudden you shift to him on a park bench with his buddy having a nice day and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of
Yeah.
all the add-ons, that was definitely probably the weirdest one out of the bunch, in my
And
opinion.
that was to set up that his buddy had sold his Porsche.
Yeah.
Which is a gambling problem, so
Yeah.
giving him up. And I get it. And all that stuff, yeah, like I do think that those scenes made the movie weaker. But Bernthal was just still better. And I think it's just the material.
it's the writing, and I think Thomas Jane feels a little too put together. Like he seems more like he has his shit versus like Punisher, at least to me, comes off as a little like unhinged, like in the sense not like.
But there have been moments in the comics where he has done like elaborate shit to kill people.
Well, he is the master planner, the master at recon, and prepared for every situation. That is supposed to be him, comic version, which means, whatever the mob does, it's not a surprise for him. He's prepared for that. He has planned this shit out. That's why the war zone is such shit there at the beginning, where he accidentally kills a cop and is like, no, I can't do it anymore. It was like bullshit. Frank, number one, would have already known that cop was there. Number two, if the cop had have died during this process, Frank would be like, oh, shit happens, and go on. Because he's a man on a mission. He's not a man on a, I'm protecting, innocent people from good. No, his job is not protect people. His job is to kill the criminals.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's kind of weird in the Bernthal Punisher, like in the comics, Punisher's not unhinged. He's a lunatic, but he's never crazy.
I don't mean like in the Joker sort of way, but like I get the feeling that like if you were to meet Punisher in real life, you would know something was off about the guy.
Yeah.
Like, and you may not be able to put your finger on why, but like with Thomas Jane, I don't get that vibe.
He does have a sort of a nice guy underneath sort of vibe.
Yeah,
You're
totally right there.
Because he kind of has like the look of like someone like Van Wilder or something.
Well, let me just say this to you about that, Jonathan. There is in one run where they kind of try to explain the murder of his family didn't create the Punisher, it unleashed it. Because back in Nam, he was known of just this unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah.
And that's why he did more than one tour in Nam.
There's also that time the Hood resurrected his family and Punisher took a fucking flamethrower to him. It's like, they're not my family, and just roasted them in the fucking caskets as they were climbing out. Like, Frank, is that you?
Yeah, well,
that happened. I just wanted you to know
but
that.
what it was saying was when there was like this beast living within him that got unleashed in the jungle, and that he closed that off when he came home to live a normal life out of the military.
Well, it was more implied that it was a deal with Mephisto, like the devil,
and that when his family got killed, it was like turn that switch, and it was on all the time.
That one's called Punisher Born, also by Garth Ennis, and we do have that at the show.
It's fantastic, and one of the if you're interested in the bunch, is one of the things you should read. Along
really
with
now?
Welcome Back, Frank.
All right. Well, I do believe we are getting to that time where we need to take a commercial break.
Correct.
Because I honestly feel there's a little more ham to this sandwich.
And Butch, we haven't talked about the really wacky shit that we.
Oh no! We're ready. I think we have a lot more to go. So let's go take a break, and we will be right fucking back.
Well, hey there, folks. Do you like mugs, t-shirts, phone cases, stickers, wall art, pillows, all sorts of fun things with fun logos? Well, if you do, head on down to tpublic.com/user/caginggreatness for all sorts of great merchandise and support your local creators. That's us! Hooray!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the show. Hope you enjoyed that ad or whatever.
I half-fast through it. It should be fun.
So, but before we continue, I feel like such an asshole. I keep forgetting. I may have forgotten to ask during the Ghost Rider episode. In fact, I did. Otto, what did you think of The Punisher?
what he's going to do is he's going to tell you what he thinks of Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, and Punisher.
Okay, you know what? I like it. I like
All right,
it.
so
Ghost Rider.
Okay, Otto's on his happy side for Ghost Rider. Yay!
Yeah.
Spirit of Vengeance.
Spirit of Vengeance.
Oh, he's mad.
Hard fucking boo.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
None of
damn.
that garbage.
Punisher.
Punisher.
Yay! Fat to happy.
All right. So at this point, the Punisher and Mickey are developing a plan.
I thought you were about to say romantic relationship.
I mean that too. I mean, there were hotel rooms
I
involved.
watched the movie. I
only
know that's something. I don't know why I thought you were going to say that. I just thought.
I'm just saying, I don't think Frank needed to be that kinky when he was torturing.
Well, it would explain why he didn't want to have anything to do with Rebecca Romaine. Because I mean, it's goddamn Rebecca Romaine. Look at her.
Yeah,
But then he's like, you know what, Mickey? I'm gonna Spider-Man kiss you upside down until you tell me what I need to know.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that real quick since we brought it up. I'm not 100% sure on how much time has passed since Frank's family has died, but it has not been that long at all. Like, I would say maybe a couple of months, maybe, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's around the time frame.
Yeah.
I think something like 6 months total because he was convalescing for a month, and then when he goes and talks to his the captain and the friend, he says something about it's been blah blah months and no one.
That's right. I forgot
5
about
months,
that.
I believe.
Yeah.
I think he said 5. I want to say it was like half a year is where we're
Yeah.
at.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, but still, Joan, played by Rebecca Romaine, Connor O'Connor now, or like no, she's married to like Jerry O'Connell, I think,
I
or
think
some
she's
shit.
just straight up Rebecca Romaine still.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't change her name.
Oh, I had no
After being
idea.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos, you know.
I mean, I don't.
That's just a hyphenation. She didn't change her name to Rebecca Stamos unless that's her legal name.
If we have learned anything in Hollywood, it is hard to keep track of their names because they keep changing them. Hell, if you're P. Diddy, you do it 8 times.
Or Snoop Dogg / Lion, Snoopy Doggy Dog, Snoopy Dogg,
Yeah.
Martha Stewart's buddy.
And I don't care if you're in a prayer circle with Marilyn Manson and Justin Bieber, Kanye. I'm not calling you Yee. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, straight shooting. I don't like Kanye West either.
No, Kanye West's a shithead.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Mental problems aside, he's still a shithead.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't excuse behavior.
Yeah, I lost
What are we doing here?
Rebecca Romaine.
Oh yeah, it's been like 6 months, and Rebecca Romaine is, I mean, she's trying to, I guess make Frank feel better, but also trying to say, yo, I am down to clown, if you know what I'm saying. Like, she was like, you can make new memories. And then like just, trying to get a little smooch on, and he's just like, I can't.
He's going his own fucking way.
I mean,
Sigma mindset.
can't say I
Don't
blame
let
him.
people get in your way.
Every fucking member of his family was just fucking mowed down.
Yeah. My
And-
mother, father, wife, child, aunts, uncles, cousins,
1 through 6.
Yes.
all their plus ones, they're all dead. I am not going to kiss you. This was last February. It is currently October. What's wrong with you?
Also, the scene where he saved her from her, I guess, one of her like
Abusive
ex-junkie
boyfriend.
boyfriends, which was one of the many scenes that was like in the trailers, but like punches a dude straight in the face and then like flicks the butterfly knife around and then you shouldn't play with knives. Ka-pink! Hits him in the nose, and that's still top tier shit to me.
yeah.
That's a really good part in the movie, in my opinion.
That was anytime somebody's threatening you with a weapon, you just punch them straight in the face while they're gesturing.
All right, and another thing that this movie has shown us, apparently the Punisher has at least some form of superhuman strength, because not only can the man like carry a whole ass fire hydrant in a duffel bag and just walk it around, and you can argue, it was a prop one, but when he set it up, it made the sounds implying that it was a real fucking like heavy duty
Cast iron.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, like Thomas Jane is yoked to fuck in this movie.
Yeah. Like I think I read he
But he's more like
trained.
lean than
That
like
is not
bulky.
impressive as the gravestone, though.
And he I was about to say,
that
like,
too.
Straight out.
he yanks his own gravestone out with his car, but then somehow gets it planted into
Like deep into a golf.
The
like a
green
golf
of the
course.
country club.
Yeah,
golf
that's where
course.
Saint
Spikes that shit.
where Howard Saint goes 5 times a week on the fucking dot. He's on a schedule. Mickey told the Punisher that, and you know what? He wanted to send a message, and I think loud and clear. Am I right?
I love it
Yes.
if John Travolta's character just like, what does this mean?
And the bit where he took off the kill date.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's
I ain't dead, motherfucker.
That's restaurant lingo. The kill date. Write the kill date so we know where to throw that shit away. But yeah, we got this fantastical plan. Mickey's still helping him out, and
From the inside.
from the inside, he keeps. At this point, he also has photo evidence of Quinn, played by god damn it, what's his name?
Quinn being like the concierge.
He's like the best friend
Quentin
of Howard
Glass?
Saint. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the number 2.
he's Bill something. I bet his first name's Bill.
He looks like he'd be Bill.
Will
Probably
Patton.
Yeah.
probably go by
Will
William.
Patton.
Will, I was you were
Will.
well.
Super close.
I mean,
Same thing.
Guy who
Really.
wasn't Denzel in Remember the Titans.
Wait, who was he in Remember the Titans?
The coach that wasn't Denzel Washington.
yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
that whole plot line is that we got dirt on his number 2 because he's secretly gay, and I just love the idea that he's a mob boss. He would instinctively be bigoted against that. I would love the fact if John Travolta's mob boss is really fucking progressive.
Well, I mean, I will say at least it was never like a situation where it was just like, ew, you're gay. No, it was just like, ha ha ha, I made you do the thing because I'm good at making you kill people that you don't want to kill. We'll
Which
get to
is
that
something
probably.
he didn't want his boss to know.
No.
Not necessarily that was
Yeah.
Yeah,
thing. It was just
because he was.
his I guess reputation was a cold-blooded killer.
Frank Castle never judged him for his
No, not at all.
lifestyle,
Not at all.
for who he was. He only judged him for being part of the team that murdered his family.
Yes.
See, Frank Castle is open-minded. He's socialistic because he redistributed the wealth.
A fucking socialist icon.
But you're still fucking.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about how he went full Joker mode and just started throwing money, making people throw money out of the goddamn window.
I'm the Punisher, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm just saying, it's like Batman. It happened. I'm giving away free money.
You want to know how I got these scars?
I got you.
Shot 17 goddamn times.
Blown up.
But no, that's not how I got him. I got him because I pooped myself.
Oh, jeez.
The punish shit.
But shit.
That's the sequel to Fatty's Fart 3.
Oh, so that's Fatty's Fart 4.
Yeah, the Punish
Oh,
shit.
shit.
The whole. It's like the whole plot.
Somebody ripped after this movie. I want to give it 5 goddamn stars.
There was a prime opportunity
There was. Oh,
for that one guy to just rip.
Because
Like the fucking curtain in the crucifixion story. Just all sorts of ass.
because the fucking
That's a delicacy in some places.
fucking Ben Foster and the comedian, they like a goddamn slapstick. They fall on top of each other. The big guy on top of the little guy. I would swear his ass about to bust open, just because they're trying to comically peep in on Frank Castle because he think he's cool, but also we're curious, and then they just bumble in on it. And it's they could have done it. They could have done it, but I guess they fucking cut that out too.
Because they're fucking cowards. That's why. Fucking craven bitches.
well, speaking of the fat guy on top of another guy, the way they killed the Russian
We have to
this
talk
movie
about
was-
this goddamn Russian
was
fight.
very very much quicker than it was in the book that they're referencing, because they actually suffocated him with the fat guy.
You know, I feel like maybe that was a good thing they did.
Yeah, there's almost a running bit in this movie where it's almost where John Travolta's Howard Saint's like, hey, call this bad guy. Hey, call this bad guy. We haven't even talked about Harry Heck yet, which is another really cool part of this movie, I feel, at least.
Honestly, like the objectively coolest part of the movie, and I will not be told otherwise.
I felt a little bad that the fucking Johnny Cash assassin was rubbed out so quickly. You just see this ass full, like straight up Johnny Cash walks into like the dirt, like diner that everybody in this 3-person apartment eats and works at. He just strolls in and like plays a little song, and he's like, "Yep, you see that song? I wrote it for you. I'm gonna play it at your funeral." And then like a second later, just like shooting the shit out in the street. And it's like, this guy's kind of cool. Like, I like how like very character he is.
Yeah. He's an anime character in this, like in a real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will grab my guitar and play that song right now.
Somebody ripped that and put it on iTunes.
Yeah,
that's on the soundtrack.
No, you gotta rip it from YouTube.
All right, fuck that. It's a perfect segue. Let's talk about the soundtrack of this movie. I already have it pulled up. Don't worry. Yeah. Let's just throw it out. This movie, I believe, like, I don't know if Broken was already out or what have you.
Pretty sure it was for this movie.
Yeah, it's like it was originally came out on Seether's album Disclaimer, and then they re-recorded it for Disclaimer 2 with Amy Lee from Evanescence, and they played it twice in this movie, like 2 times.
A whole 2
like,
times.
Apparently, like, I mean, I get it. Everybody has their song they listen to when they're sad, but Joan listened to like Broken like way too many times. Yep. One of those times while crying, while a crazy person was banging on her door while holding a kitchen knife. Well, she was holding the kitchen knife, not him, which she needed to hold it at that point, which, you know, because he was a crazy person.
Very crazy person.
As I'm looking at it, you heard this song in the scene where, what was Ben Foster's character's name? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't.
Mickey.
No, it was
Spacker Dave.
Spacker Dave, yes. But with all the piercings in his face, he was listening to Step Up by Drowning Pool, but the second vocalist of Drowning Pool.
Not the first guy.
Yeah, not the one.
God, some of these bands on this soundtrack, I am not at all surprised.
Like Bleed by Puddle of Mud. Well, I've never heard that. Slow Motion by Nickelback. Never Say Never. Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah. Obviously Broken. Finding Myself by Smile. Empty Soul. Lost in a Portrait by Trapped.
And it's not the one Trap song,
but it also features Slow Chemical by Finger 11, which was Kane's entrance music at one point.
Yeah, there's also a song from Chevelle, Still Running.
Still Running is a great goddamn song.
Hate Breed.
Oh man, you know what? I was upset because I heard the intro audio bit that they play ahead of Still Running played when Liz and I went to go see Chevelle, but they didn't play that song, and I was just like, damn. I was just like, oh, did they fuck that up? Oh, they're gonna play Still Running when they didn't play Still Running. Fucking, what else we got?
Ash to Ashes from Damage Plan.
In Time by Mark.
Oh, God, Damage Plan. Fuck.
Damage Plan. Why is that name so familiar?
It's fucking Confederate Corps.
Hey, Sold. Hey, I stand by Sold Me by Seether. I may listen to that song later when we're done recording, but I think Sold Me is a pretty good song.
Eyes Wired Shut, Edgewater.
Oh, my God, I remember that song. Eyes Wired Shut.
Slow Chemical, Finger 11.
But for those at home, Damage Plan was basically Pantera without Phil Anselmo.
That's right. Oh my God! But
so Confederate Corps.
I think confirmed. Captain Shimmy and I both owned this soundtrack.
Yep.
I had the CD. I remember buying this. Yes.
I had it on iTunes, and I only listened to the Mark Colley song.
Man, what were these names?
I don't know, but Trap's on here, and that's always a bad decision.
The End Is Come, Ben Moody, Piece by Piece, Strata, Bound to Violence, Hate Breed.
'Cause I'm broke.
Everybody.
6, 7, Wiser, Complicated, Submersed, Time for People, Atom Ship, In Time, Mark Colley.
Yeah, that was the diner song.
Yeah, that's the good one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like
God,
he plays the song. Man, we saw them at fucking Avondale. Hey,
Apparently, they're like really chill dudes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just all like dads now.
Probably.
Like I saw just like Jamie Josta on stage, just chill, like I'm gonna take my life back. Gonna do everything right. I don't know, fuck it. The Punisher.
The Punisher.
Man, that popsicle scene was pretty rad, wasn't it?
It was pretty great.
All right, so the end time. All right, so the Punisher gets done with his fucking breakfast, right? He gets in his car, which he already has like pre-armored, which that was a scene that like showed him like getting his fucking Punisher mobile ready to go. Mm-hmm. And gets to the bridge. And then
The drawbridge is up, so he's stuck there for a minute.
Oh yeah, he's stuck there, and all of a sudden, fucking like Johnny Cash just comes like just rams his ass.
And this lime green like sports car.
Man, it was a fucking rad car though. I
was a
really
nice
dug
car.
it. I really liked it. And then it leads to like a scene where they like ramp the bridge, go over. Punisher has to avoid this person playing ball in the street. Get out of the street!
A child in the street with a ball, like the signs have been warned us about for years.
Which is weird. There's like no other traffic on the road besides these two. And a kid in the street.
Yeah, apparently LA is just like dead this time
Tampa.
of day.
Yeah, they were in Tampa.
It's supposed to be Tampa.
Supposed to be Tampa, yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it was actually Tampa.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
And then we get the glorious scene where the Punisher is, you think he's obviously not down.
He's
for the
pretty
count.
mangled after that crash.
He looks pretty fucked. And then he's crawling out and then like pulls out this fucking switchblade from his boot. Now you gotta be one dumb son of a bitch bringing a knife to a gunfight. And then according to Shim, this was in the book too, right?
Yeah. Fa-twang!
And just hits him, just shoots the fucking tactical blade. Isn't that what it's called?
A ballistic knife.
ballistic knife. That's what it meant. Yeah. And just shoots him right in the neck with
Also from Welcome Back, Frank.
it. Man. Well, shit. I read that. It's been a while though.
It was the part where the two regular Goombas showed up to try and get Punisher after the Russian had fucked him up, and he couldn't really get up because he was still really well. No, it was after the scene where he blew up the bar and got shot by the one guy who pissed him off. He's shooting with a giant revolver and it's going through the ballistic armor, and he just chokes him out anyway and drags himself back to his apartment like, all I gotta do is get back to the apartment, dig out these bullets and not bleed to death. How hard could that be? And then he just passes the fuck out, and that's when his neighbors find him like, oh god, it's the Punisher.
And then in true Grand Theft Auto style, he's just like, well, shit, I got this nice car here. I'm going to take it.
And he drives it for the rest of the movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get a nice suit of armor by the end itself.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah, super armored car last one incident.
It saved his ass though.
yeah, it did. Like it
Jammed.
helped out.
I love the bit where he pulls the shutter over the front window and he's just driving blind. He's like, oh, I didn't put fucking eye holes in this goddamn thing.
Now, in one of it's might not be the prettiest looking, it might not be the cleanest looking fight scene, but Thomas Jane and Kevin Nash, the Punisher versus the Russian.
Yeah.
That
It's less of a fight scene and more of a merciless beating.
Like
which it's fucking cool to watch.
It was a squash for most of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. But
that was a classic ECW Mikey Whipwreck match where Mikey gets his shit kicked in for 30 minutes and still somehow manages to win by accident.
And you got to remember, like, I'm just going to assume that Kevin Nash was doing this whole scene with a fucking stab wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the whole time.
Because he actually gets stabbed
Yeah,
in the take that they used.
Yeah, no, we mentioned that.
It was, like, fucking gross. Like, the whole time I was wondering if the scene where you see the knife coming out, if that is indeed the real knife.
I mean, that looked like actual blood as opposed to movie blood, but I don't know.
But I mean, I heard that they use that in the final cut, but like things are cut and edited left and right. Who's to say that was like, like, oh, let's go back and do that. Either way,
Stab me again, you punk.
I thought the brutal beatdown that the Russian gave the Punisher was rad. In fact, there was a part where it was immediately after the Russian like bends his revolver with a dumbbell, and then launches Thomas Jane through the wall. And I think I read somewhere that might have been Kevin Nash's receipt for getting stabbed.
Yeah.
Like just fucking threw actual Thomas Jane through this wall, and he face planted on another wall on the other side.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was the take they used, and it was fucking brutal. And it looked
Like you
awesome.
could see his head bounce off the brick.
So the knife scene, what happened according to this article I found, so grain of salt. Okay. The knives were supposed to be switched out, but they weren't because the stagehands were hitting on a girl off camera, which Nash apparently found hilarious.
Yeah, and I think like they settled it over like a bunch of cold beers after the shoot
I mean,
or whatever.
if Kevin Nash seems like a
And
kind
he
of guy, you
super
can pay off.
glued it shut and finished the scene.
I mean, he's a wrestler. I'm pretty sure he super glued a lot of wounds in his day.
That is probably one of the least things that's happened to him while he's working.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to him for like still fucking working and like being a really good sport about it. I mean, shit.
Someone did ask him, so that scene where you threw Thomas Jane through the wall and actually knocked him the fuck out, was that a receipt? He's just sort of like, movies.
I do though at the exact moment when like I'm liking the El Mariachi Johnny Cash bit, but the fucking second that Popeye cosplay Kevin Nash knocked down his door, that's when this movie went from like a straight line to just straight up like a goddamn like
his
mad down line. And
his costume in that was ridiculous. With
he has fucking rocks like
I mean, it was right from the book, right?
It's exactly from
the book, but
and it's
it
amazing.
still looks so like jarring. And then then they fucking pull some Kool-Aid Man shit, fucking bust him through a wall. Kevin Nash just bare chest through this whole wall. Like it's a goddamn Looney Tunes sequence because he's like choking the life
they destroyed this entire apartment complex
out of Thomas Jane. Like just blood is like pumping into his like head, blood busting.
Well, the scene where he
Eyes
grabs
full of
Thomas Jane by the throat and lifts him up against the cage, he just did that.
Yeah.
Like there was no help. He just fucking because
No,
Kevin Nash.
fucking Kevin Nash.
And like everyone who didn't know who Kevin Nash was amazed. Like, oh my god, how'd you do that? He's like, because I'm Kevin Nash.
Like I did this for a living for a long time.
And then there's a whole bit where like the friends are like making dinner and playing opera, and like across the way Ben Foster's like dancing the other way, just like Punisher getting like just bitch slapped like a fucking rag doll and like slung her around like a kid's toy.
To any opera aficionados, they're listening to La Donna Mobile by Luciano Pavarotti. It's fantastic.
They're just having a grand old time where he's literally getting like.
Jane is losing this fight badly.
It's not a fight. He just got the shit kicked out of him.
Really the funniest part to me is when he's like, "Oh, I got him," and he ducks in the bathroom where he's got a hidden grenade and throws it back in the room and shuts the door.
Yeah.
However, the door has a window and Kevin Nash just
baseball
whacks.
bats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has like a crowbar in his hand and literally just like Sammy Sosa's that bitch right
Just
back
like,
at him.
tink, and just like, it's just like he just jumped in the tub, blows up the bathroom. He's just like, all like,
my favorite moment from
frazzled.
the movie, not just the fight, is when Thomas Jane's on the ground after having his head just rammed through a refrigerator several times, and he hits that desk, and the revolver pops out, and he grabs it. And then the Russian just grabs a revolver and a dumbbell and slams it down on the revolver, bending the barrel, rendering it completely useless. And there's a beat where Thomas Jane picks it up, looks at it long way so you can see the bend, and just looks back up at the Russian like, fucking really?
It's a Tom and Jerry bit.
It's great. It's fucking fantastic.
I was waiting for the Russian to just take a gun and tie it at a knot like
In
a fucking
the comic,
lunatic.
he actually grabbed it and just balled it up. Like in the book, the Russian grabbed the gun and balled it up into a little hunk of metal. And the whole time, Frank is narrating it, and he's like, why can't I just pass out? Because he's awake for the whole beating. At one point, the Russian in the comic baseball bats him through a wall with a toilet.
I mean,
A whole ass toilet.
just rips the toilet out of the ground.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, which was weirdly enough because you can tell it was a stuntman that did that one. But still, like you see, like Thomas Jane
was
getting
concussed
fucking
after that last little incident.
Was he like legit concussed?
I would guess.
I mean, he was like still crawling away, but like I was just like, God damn.
John made the joke like Thomas Jane had like 10 fucking concussions after that fight. Like he's just like his brain is leaking out of his nose.
Yeah, I have to keep remembering that, like Shimmy said, it was not a fight. It was just the Russian beating the crap out of the Punisher for a good solid 5-10 minutes until the song ended in the other room.
Right.
And right as the song ended, he comes crashing through the wall into their room.
Yeah.
With like the three friends, the only three people that live in this fucking rat motel.
Oh, I said like hell have no fury, like a pot of boiling fucking water.
In the comic, it was actually a very hot pizza.
Oh man, yeah.
And the Punisher hits him with the pizza, and the Russian goes, "Oh, it is gross and horrible, like alien." And then he grabs Mr. Bumpo, Punisher does, and throws him on top of the Russian, and then jumps on Mr. Bumpo's back, and they smother the Russian to death with a fat man.
Oh, see, yeah. After
It's incredible.
the Russian turns into the Toxic Avenger after the acid splash, and they just sort of like Thomas Jane just is like one last edge spear over the railing into the bench, and they just tumble down the stairs.
I mean, as much as like Thomas Jane went through in that scene, you can like tell he was done. And that one last attempt, we just like threw his fucking ass at the Russian, and I'm just like, well. And then you hear his neck snap during the tumble down, just like, it's gross.
And there's a great last comedic bit where the three friends they stick their heads out like Scooby Doo. They see Thomas Jane looks like he's dead, and he just like it falls like a tree.
Yeah. It's like moments like that, you're just like, this really, shouldn't be here for quote unquote a Punisher movie. But it's also moments
fun.
like this that I love.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like, it's fucking fun.
Because unfortunately, with the Punisher, like with its subject matter, it can be very bleak, and a lot of times it should be, or else some of the content it would feel like insulting. But I feel like it just keeps a nice levity to the film, because otherwise it might be too bleak, which is why a lot of people don't care for the Punisher. It's because it's so dark, and I feel like I love how just silly it is.
That's why there's a lot, like, the general consensus is when Garth Ennis was doing the Punisher books, he started with the Marvel Knight stuff, which was just the teenage. So like every gangster would say, "You mother-loving psycho." Like, no gangster's gonna say that. And then it switched to the Marvel Knights imprint, and so many people are like, the Marvel Knights is the best Punisher because it's dark and angry and mean. And then a lot of people, not as many, but those of us with taste are like, no, the Marvel Knights was much better because it was fucking funny. And that's what made it enjoyable. You've got characters like, Mr. Bumpo and Spacker Dave and Joan the Mouse. And at one point, he fights Wolverine and shoots him in the balls with a shotgun and rolls him over with a steamroller to leave him there. And it's great. Spider-Man shows up, and the Russian's there because the Russian's not dead. And Punisher hides behind an unconscious Spider-Man while the Russian just keeps throwing punches. It's fucking hilarious.
Like Garth Ennis is like, he can do brutal, but like he's also been really good at funny as well.
Yeah. So
I read it. I watched an interview with Garth Ennis, and he said when he was first going to do that, he was going to make it more silly.
Yeah.
I think when Marvel was first pitching the idea, he was going to have more interaction with the other superheroes, and he was kind of be just a nuisance. Because unlike superheroes, Punisher just flat out murders his enemies.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, look, dude, you can't do that. And he's like, bam, right in front of him. Like, yeah, I can. And that kind of thing. He was like, no, leaned into the darker, and it worked a lot better for him and the artist. God, I can't remember.
Steve Dillon.
Yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah. Yeah.
It was also the same creative team that did Preacher.
I know.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that
my
was
favorite
for the
comic of all
listener.
time.
Not listener. That was for the benefit of the listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying.
All one of them.
As you know, Cannon.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, no, I knew but yeah, it was just,
But do they? What if this is the first time they've ever listened to us?
yeah. That's why
Every episode of someone's first.
That's why I'm letting the person
Well-
who's still listening know about this.
Well, if that's the case, then I should let them know that, like, surprisingly enough, I was one of the last people that Steve Dillon tweeted.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
that's nice.
It's weird.
In that interview, he was talking about.
I mean, I liked it, but it was still, like, eerie,
No, I get that because I told you about my favorite artist, Tom Lyle, right?
Yeah.
He died not too long ago. He had an aneurysm, then went into a coma and just fucking dead. Like, 4 weeks before that, I found him on Facebook, sent him a message like, man, I fucking love your art. You're the best. You're the reason I started drawing. You're the reason I got into comics. Oh, thanks. Sorry it took so long for me to see this because I sent it to him like 6 months before. He responded 3 weeks before he
that's nice.
went to coma. Like, oh, sorry it took so long to see this. I'm glad I was able to touch you with my art, and thanks for being a fan. It's like, yay! My hero acknowledged, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
It sucked. So,
Yeah.
It's
I'm sorry.
Nice that he acknowledged you, though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's
very
pretty
nice.
fucking cool. And then we get to Quentin Glass like ripping piercings out of Ben Foster's face.
Ooh.
And the Punisher like recouping, down below,
Yeah.
not being able to help out.
He's beat the shit up.
Yeah, but
and Ben Foster ain't no snitch.
he ain't no fucking snitch,
No
man.
snitch.
You want to know why?
He's family.
Family.
Just with family.
So I've said this. There are a lot of really fun things like from the book. When the two goons show up to interrogate the people looking for Punisher, the same thing happens. Like this is taken out of the same thing. Spacker Dave is like they're the one they rip his piercings out to find information. But what happens is they knock on the door, and he opens it up and goes, I don't know where the Punisher is. And the two goons just look at each other and force their way in, and then they rip out his piercings. And it's played completely for a laugh.
Damn. Oh man, I will say his reaction to getting the piercings pulled out, he made it feel like it was really happening.
Yeah.
Ben Foster, I will say, is a phenomenal actor.
Fantastic.
He's fucking great. That being said, I don't really think he was shooting for the fences on this one.
This is one of his earlier things, too.
Shit. I mean, I know he was like fucking. I don't fucking. It doesn't matter.
But then at the same time, I don't know if like this characters you're really going for pathos.
They were playing cartoon characters.
Yeah, like they
Seriously.
made him so much more serious and relatable than in the book. Because in the book,
He's like the gross, lovable loser. Like he's he's not so bad, even though he's covered in like pig grease.
yeah, no, he's not at all lovable in the book.
He's just a gross dude who's down on his luck.
Well, they kind of framed him to start off with as like the edgelordy gamer, because that's how you're introduced to him, as him.
Yes, because he's listening to
How great
like
he is playing online.
while listening to shitty Drowning Pool, not the good stuff, the shitty Drowning Pool.
Because he'd only been doing like actual movies.
R.I.P.
Like,
Dave
he
Williams.
started as a child actor in '96.
Yeah, flash forward, right?
Counterfeit,
Counterfeit.
as far as film goes.
I remember him from Flash Forward on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I saw him in, at least.
Yeah, Flash Forward was that same year. That was TV.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Counterfeit with a K. That's how you know it's edgy.
Shit. Was
But no,
Korn on the
like-
soundtrack?
Probably. But yeah, he didn't do very much where he was like a legitimate character that had lines and shit.
Has
until
anyone
around here?
has anyone ever seen the movie Hostage starring Bruce Willis?
Yeah. He was in that.
Ben Foster is like the main villain in that, and oh my god, I thought he played a creepy motherfucker in that movie. I thought he did his job well in that
Have you
one.
seen 3:10 to Yuma with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe?
Oh, 100%. I love that movie.
Yeah, Ben Foster was the sidekick.
I know.
So yeah, he's a fucking psychopath.
Fucking
He was
great.
great.
And don't get me started on Hell or High Water.
Yeah, no, good time.
Like no one saw that movie in theaters when it came out, and that is sad.
this poor man was wasted as Angel in X-Men Last Stand.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were wasted in X-Men.
Except Vinnie Jones, he was exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah, he had the exact
That
right.
was his ceiling.
But
I'm a juggernaut, bitch!
at the also, I mean, for what it's worth, I thought Kelsey Grammer was great as Beast.
Oh, he was incredible. He was perfect casting.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Patrick Stewart levels of perfect casting.
Yes.
He's wasted in the fucking movie.
But at this point, the Punisher has recharged his batteries, and he is ready to just fuck some shit up.
Yeah,
Just
he regrew all his bones.
regrew all of his bones.
His brain
He's
healed
like-
itself. It went from jello back to brain.
Like you can hear it just like
In
like sunk back
D&D
in.
terms, he took a long rest and he was
Yeah.
fine.
It took like the blade of a paper what is it called? A paper cutter?
Yeah.
Paper? And
like a manual paper cutter where you have like the blade on one end
Yeah.
and like the box on the
Yeah.
side. You sort of slide it through. He just popped that bitch off and just
That's how he
laid
cuts
it in somebody's head.
That's how he cuts up his business cards.
It's like Punisher. Call 555 Punish.
And I also thought that when he buried that blade in at least that henchman's skull, he had the butt cut, like the part like smack in the middle, and like so the blade knew it was like a perfect like bullseye for where it was going. And and then we get to the epic climax of this film,
Yeah.
where
All his scheming
In
comes to
retrospect,
fruition.
is really anticlimactic because it's only like 5 minutes.
well, I would say like as a whole, it's a little longer. They kind of drag it. I would even say even in the theatrical version, because like there's a couple of bits where Frank Castle is writing his last will intent or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like narrating it in the movie.
And it's the most extra shit in the world.
Yeah.
It is kind of silly extra.
Because I mean, the climax is split between Travolta killing his best friend and also his wife, and then we get to the Punisher actually going there and fighting. And that Punisher fight, that's like 5 minutes.
I mean, Punisher just
At
killed
most.
everybody.
That's just arrow, boom, shoot. Ooh! Set up for boom. Then Howard Saint, shoot, boom.
Yeah. I will admit the bit with his other son. I don't even know if we've said this. Like the Saints had twin boys, and one of them died, and the other one's still alive. But his arm is broken and pinned under like a bookshelf. It looks like, and then Frank Castle makes him hold this mine.
Personnel mine, yeah.
And he like ties the end of it to like a wire in the rafters, and he's like making him hold it this whole time. And that was a pretty cool bit. It was just like, you killed my son, and you hear boom, both of them.
That was a good line.
That was fucking cool. I dug that shit. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like the ending, it was I will admit it was a bit anticlimactic. It was just a bunch. In fact, I remember the bonus features, that explosion scene where that one guy pulled the champagne bottle and the Claymore mine blew up.
Yeah.
I remember at least seeing it as a whole, like everybody blowing away at once, looked a lot cooler than the edits that they made in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
I remember the trailer looking better for that scene.
Yeah.
There were two things that I want to bring up.
Okay.
Because we haven't really talked about John Travolta at fucking all in this episode of Travolting Development. Because
We were going to get there.
He's barely there.
He's not really there
He's
a
not.
lot.
There are two line readings that I thought were terrible but fantastic. So Punisher blows up a boat of the money that Travolta launders for the Puerto Rican mobsters, and he goes boom, and then he cut to Travolta, and he goes, all of it. Oh, and it's just great. It's just like freaking the fuck out. And then the second one, the one that I always I actually think this one was good because it conveys what he's going for. So Punisher has convinced Travolta via his machinations that Quentin Glass and Travolta's wife are having sex, which they're not.
No,
so
they
he
were not.
He kills us, but like, why are you killing me? How you killed me, Howard? I stabbed and Jim Bowie stabbed. Oh no!
Why are you killing me, Smalls?
And so like that happened, and then he's like, as he goes home, like, hey, look, it's my whore wife. I'm like, oh shit! So he grabs her, he drives her to a bridge.
After smacking around.
After he smacks her around, drives her like, oh, these are just whores, you'll fit right in. But he drives her to a bridge, overpass with a train track underneath it. And he grabs her. It's like, why are you doing this to me? He says, I don't know what you're talking about, Howard. And he goes, I found this in Quentin's bed. It's the earring, one of the earrings that he gave her earlier. He goes, can you explain that? And she goes, what? No. And he kisses her and goes, me neither. And throws her off.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't throw her off the bridge. He yeets her off the
And
bridge.
what was so good is like you see her, like we all like rat, like, oh shit, he threw this chick off a bridge, and then John's like, does she get hit by a train deck? Then
Yes! Yes, she does!
Yep, immediately.
I was like, no, ma'am.
God.
This bitch got flattened.
And
like part of me was like, man, the chick from Mulholland Drive shouldn't have gotten this death. And then I remember at the very beginning of the movie, she's like, kill them all. I'm like, you know what? I think that's suitable.
Yeah, they very much established that she was just as much evil as
my
Travolta.
God.
The third Travolta thing that I loved is when his son shows up after that and is like, Dad, where's Quentin? He's wrapped up in something because he was in a rug.
Yeah.
I said, where's Mom? Oh, she left. What? She took the train.
That was top tier shit.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Like that was. I know it was bad, but it was also so.
That was
fucking
a good fun
That was
line.
fucking funny.
So good.
Fantastic.
Just like it is the most diabolical he sounded during the entire fucking movie, in my opinion.
And, for like all the mob bosses that John Travolta's played, I feel like this is probably the close to being like, oh, that's like a scary. I mean, not like
No,
scary.
yeah, like-
I feel like that's a solid performance he put in.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like I thought when he killed the dude that was watching the first son that got
Yeah, the
killed.
bodyguard that was supposed to be watching.
Yeah, like I actually thought that was some good shit. It was like, oh well, I mean,
Yeah.
you fuck up, he is gonna take you out.
That was legit menace.
Yeah, like I didn't think he did bad. I thought some of the shit got a little, you know.
a little wacky, but like,
Yeah.
compared this to the fucking swordfish,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much night and day.
The biggest
Yeah.
issue is that you've got a mob boss who has a bunch of underlings, and that's who does most of the fighting and killing and dying. So
Yeah.
there's just not a lot of Travolta, and then you don't have the showdown until the very end of the movie between two characters who have never once interacted.
And plus, John Travolta's not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm your physical equal, Thomas Jane. Let's throw down."
yeah.
Like,
But
no, that's not gonna happen.
I gotta say, like, oh god, I do not remember this scene being this fucking bad. But when Travolta was stabbing his best friend for not fucking his wife,
Yeah.
and you're killing me. That was the Neil Breen
was
shit.
bad.
That was some Neil Breen level bullshit.
Like
You
before-
committed suicide.
when Travolta slashes and hits his arm and goes, "What? What?"
I mean, that was
John.
now that was even. I would even say that was a bit better than just like, you're killing me. Why are you killing me?
It's better
Why are you
compared to
killing
what
me?
came after.
Why are you killing me?
You're killing me. Don't
It's
do
like-
the stab. Oh God! Don't do this. How stab? Oh God!
It's like-
Don't do it. Stab
It's like
me.
you are the reason why I remember the Titans. Why are you being ass right now? And it's just like, oh god, and then the death to end all deaths when the Punisher sends John Travolta through a car lot that is exploding left and right after he has revealed that, hey, guess what, I made you kill your wife and your best friend for no fucking reason. and just fire bombs left and right. The Punisher has placed all these bombs, and there's a montage where you see him doing it beforehand.
They'll just come out of like, oh, just
Yeah.
shit's exploding for no goddamn reason.
The best part is just like after you just see John Travolta completely engulfed in flames, it's like this overhead shot, and like all the explosions have made a Punisher skull logo, and it's just like, yeah,
They showed the thing.
they showed the thing, and
We need a movie.
Okay.
We need an instance where every
and then the
superhero-
Punisher's like, goodbye, I'm gonna shoot myself.
I have one more ad about that scene.
Okay.
Everything's blowing up around him. And
Yeah.
He's just being drugged through it. Nothing's touched him so far. And then he pushes the little trigger for the mine that's on the car that's moving.
Yeah.
It's right directly in front of him. You see that explode and fire, but you see his body. And I was just like, haven't we learned anything? Put the bomb on him. He could easily get away. And I was about through that thought process when one of the pieces of car lands
Yeah.
squarely on Travolta.
Yeah, I was about to say he was.
So he had been shot through the heart at that point.
He's already
He was
shot.
shot
He was
in the
already
chest.
limping.
Yeah.
His foot
He
was
still
tied to
alive,
the
though.
car.
They shot the fucking Punisher.
Yeah, but he wasn't
5 or 6
going
times.
anywhere.
He's still alive.
Well, the Punisher's built different, Frank.
Different.
Yeah, the Punisher can break an egg with his arm.
We should probably. We only got a little bit of time left before we have to either stop or commercial again. So now that we're at the end, we should probably scooch on over to just a little bit of dirty laundry.
Okay. Frank wants to kill himself, but then he sees like visions of his wife, and then she's like, "No, I'm here chilling in heaven. I'm cool." And then he's like, "No, I'm not going to kill myself." And then he's like, "I'm going to be the Punisher."
Yeah,
And now we're at dirty laundry.
pretty much that could have been so much quicker than the 5 minutes it took for all of that.
It gives the weird friend some money. They may move to a slightly less gross hotel.
I will say, him seeing his wife in it was a little weird. It was like shots that weren't like earlier in the film. She was like wearing stuff you haven't seen her wear in the film. Mm-hmm. It was a little weird to me, but it saved Thomas Jane from ending his Punisher career, I guess. Yeah. And now we are on to the fan-made short.
Mm-hmm. 2012.
And by fan-made, the biggest Punisher fan, Thomas Jane himself.
Yeah, did he bankroll this?
No, I think it was a joint effort.
Because I watched it when it originally came out. Yeah. I just didn't know it was
how
for a Comic-Con. It happened. Really?
So it was a fan-made film, and he's friends with Perlman, so he got Perlman to be in it.
Well, I know who paid for the film. It was fucking Jack Daniels whiskey.
Yeah, which you know what? That brings me to some fucking continuity errors in this fucking short that I'm gonna fucking shout it. So, are we going around robin rating this shit?
Yeah, we may as well do it just quick.
All right, let's just do it real quick. Shimmy, you start. We'll go this way.
I really liked it, and I thought a second Punisher movie with Thomas Jane in this style would have been a lot better than the shit we got. 4 stars.
Okay.
It was all right. Don't really have a lot to say about it. It's Punisher killing dudes with a Jack Daniels bottle. I'd say probably 2.
And doing laundry.
2.5.
As a passion project for Thomas Jane, really loving the character, I do appreciate it. I will give it a definite A for effort and give it a 3 stars, even though we all know the Punisher drank wild turkey and he hates the New York Yankees. Yeah, he was wearing a shitty knockoff New York Yankees hat, even though he said it in the fucking movie. He hates it when they win.
Well, the Jack Daniels thing, he didn't drink it. He used it as a weapon.
This is true, and I will admit the Jack Daniels bottle would be a better weapon than a wild turkey bottle.
Maybe the Yankees was him trying to hide in plain sight.
I was about to say, he's just hey, I got to pretend like I'm not who I am.
I thought, yeah. Okay.
Even though he's washing Punisher shirts in the fucking laundromat.
Yeah.
Fuck it, 3.5. Fuck it, 3.5. I'm giving it 3.5.
It's a fun. I remember when it came out 10 years ago, thinking it was the most badass shit ever, and then 10 years later, I thought you know what? There's probably some stuff in here that I feel a little queasy about now.
Yeah.
Considering all the bad guys are black people, and it's just this very downturn part of town, but it's kind of the Punisher is ignoring crimes, and then he starts committing crimes. Not a bad little short. I give it 3 stars.
Okay.
Like Pat said, him ignoring the crime is the only part that really got me in this. Besides that, I thought it was very well done. And I agree with Shimmy. Second Punisher movie in this style, as opposed to the back and forth slapstick serious stuff, would have been very successful, I think.
I mean, with a bigger budget in this style, it would have been miles ahead.
Yeah, I'd give it 3.5.
Not downgrading the slapstick, because as much as I didn't notice it as back in the day, I still kind of appreciate at least some of it.
Instead of the Ray Stevenson movie.
Oh,
because I love the Thomas Jane slapstick.
Yeah. I do.
I want there to be a slapstick Punisher movie. That's how you do Archie Meets the Punisher.
I want the Benny Hill theme playing through the entire Punisher movie.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Because I'm pretty sure I've said it on this show. I do not like Punisher Warzone at all.
It's not good.
And it's not because of Ray Stevenson at all.
No, he's great.
Yeah. If he was in a better movie, that would have probably worked out.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, especially after watching a documentary on YouTube about it, where the director was talking about what her vision was for it. She was trying to translate a comic book directly from comic book to the film.
Yeah.
And all of the complaints she was getting from the production company about the violence and stuff, she's like, that's not me. That is the source. That is the source material that I'm drawing from. It's nothing that I'm doing. And they were like, you need to stop being so violent. I've toned this down already. But, except for the whole I got to give this up because I accidentally shot a cop bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's as dumb as Val Kilmer giving up being Batman because he met Nicole Kidman. That shit doesn't happen.
I will say a part of me wishes if I didn't have a full-time job, I wish I could have squeezed in the Punisher video game that was also voiced by Thomas Jane.
That's a great game.
Yeah, I love that game.
I'm pretty sure it's in the box of
It is.
Xbox.
Yeah, I started playing it a few months ago,
It's a good
actually.
time.
Yeah, like I wish there was a way that we could figure out how to like stream that shit on the channel or something, because I would definitely do a playthrough of that.
We just make our
We'll
own
have to figure
Twitch.
out how to play.
I mean, I know
retro
that,
games.
but it's like through an OG like Xbox. Do we have the right like cords to make that shit
I
happen?
don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
That is a topic for another day.
Exactly.
Let's talk to our friend Ellie,
Yeah.
who has bought our merchandise on tpublic.com/user/Cajun Grit.
Ellie's the
Who's
best.
also a very good streamer. Go check her out on Songbird E108 on Twitch.
Well, hell, shit. I guess that being said, I guess we have chewed all the meat off this bone. What do y'all
Dirty
think?
Laundry's pretty standard of, oh, hey, Ron Perlman. Oh, Frank just killed those people, and that dude's on fire. Hey, he was the Punisher all along.
I mean, it was 12 minutes. But also, I can't wait for like the little kid to be the Punisher, like Punisher Jr. Or like I made
got a shirt.
I made myself laugh. It's just like a grosser version of Punisher Dirty Laundry. It's just like Punisher. I done shit my drawers. But anyway,
Fatty's fart too.
God damn it.
Well,
Pavlovian trigger. Like,
but as a John Travolta movie, how we feeling?
I mean, as a Travolta movie, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
He's honestly probably the weakest and least important part of the movie.
Like, imagine, and you know what? I just had a fucking brain fart. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't John Travolta's wife in this movie in X-Men 3, The Last Stand? Isn't she the doctor that gets killed by Porcupine Man or whatever his name was?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
I'm going to need a fact check on this.
Fact checking.
also, while we're fact checking on that, we do have a Cage connection for this film.
Well,
Because the director, Jonathan Hensley, was the writer for Nicolas Cage 2007 vehicle Next. And he's also the producer for Con Air and Gone in 60 Seconds.
ooh.
Nice.
Crossover.
No, she was not in an X-Men movie as far as I can tell, but she was, and Cannon, you're going to love this, in The Shield.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. I remember. Oh, my God. Yay. Welcome to the segment I wasn't prepared for. Actors that have been in The Shield. Thank you,
that
Captain
segment
Shimmy.
Cannon
It never left. I just forgot.
Cannon remembers a bit player from an episode of the week of The Shield.
That show that we will never fucking finish.
I mean,
hey, we're close. We're over.
I mean,
halfway.
we are way in balls deep in that one.
just like we're balls deep into this episode.
Yeah.
Probably need to wrap it up there, Ken.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're at 2 hours now.
And it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning
I'm
on a
very
weekday.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got to be up before any of
I'm
y'all.
going to be extra postal.
I got to be up at 7:45.
6. Fuck you. Anyway, I am that cannon guy.
Just say I was comparing.
Everybody just put their early dicks on the table. We'll measure them later.
Anyway, since I'm not even going to try to plug all the other shit, I'm going to leave that to Shimmy when he gets here. I have been that Cannon Guy. This has been Travolting Development. You can follow me at that Cannon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And the Punisher hates the New York Yankees.
This has been Patrick. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name, or on Facebook at John Lost His Name. Or if you're listening to the week it comes out on AYCH, we release episode 236 on Monday, November the 1st, where it's my 4-year anniversary of joining the AYCH team, where me, John, and Colt just have a good time chatting, talking, shooting shit. And then on Tuesday, November 2nd, it's more Pat, where Tanner interviews me on his show, The Late Takes.
That's way too much Pat. I don't like
Oh, sorry. It's Pat Week, goddammit. It may be Cannon Month, but it's Pat Week.
My name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIIBOI24 and John Notes on 12 on Letterboxd.
I'm Captain Chimmy, and I'm too tired to do the plugs. Buy our merch. Follow the link tree. You know what to do.
I'm Frank, and I'm fading fast because I'm still kind of recovering from the Halloween party a couple of days ago.
Thanks to the both of you that are still here checking out our shit. We'll see you next time for some John Leguizamo shenanigans. Good fucking night.
And don't let anyone Travolta your development.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a Travolting development. His movies are kinda shit. 15 years without a hit. Hey! It's John Travolta.